Okay, it's been a while since we've been working on the wood blocks. This one, obviously, I'm not going to do anything with. It is coated with Dexology D1 and D2. Same with these small blocks here. These have been soaked in linseed oil. I'm going to give these ones a bit of paste wax, and then we'll get on to doing some rope stropping and put these blocks back together. Okay, so waxed up the blocks, got the sheaves, got the pins, and these ones fairly simple. Put in the pin in the side that's slightly bigger. No, let's try this block. Okay, I do have a couple other pins here and here. Let's see if we can get any of these pins in easily. No, so it looks like the block's expanded slightly. That's okay. I'm just going to lightly take a hammer. Seat these pins and place in the sheaves. So we need to line the sheaves up with that pin there. Let's see how we go. All right, that one snapped in. Coming out the other side. Flush and flush. So these are brass pins with a bit of a chrome coating. Plastic sheaves. Okay, originally these blocks, I've cut the stropping off of them. They were like this. So I'm going to redo it with different rope. I may wrap around the thimble. Definitely we'll do this to tighten them. So I'm going to show you how I've done that, how that's done, how we measure, how we do the splicing, and splicing of the strop to make one continuous circle to fit around the block. Additionally, got these that could be spliced onto the end, or a ring that could be spliced in like this, which I may do on a block just for an example. So we'll do a block like this, the remainders with just the plain stropping, and we'll do some whipping around the grommet and the whipping to tighten. Okay, so the rope I'm going to be using for the grommet or the strop is this, it's Hempex. So it's a polypropylene hemp rope. It's soft, 3-strand, 5/8 or 8mm rope. So what do we need to do first is determine the length. So I really need to open this one up. However, obviously, we're going to need this length plus the inside of one of this, about like that. So I'm happy that that much rope is how much we need. And basically we need 3 times that because it's a 3-strand rope. We're going to use a single strand to create a new rope out of 1 strand. So 3 lengths of this. I'll say 2, And 3 doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to tighten it up. So let's cut the rope here and see how we go. Okay, so we have 3 times the length. What we want to do is unravel the 3-strand rope very gently in order to keep the lay of the rope or its weave angles still in the rope. We don't want to make the rope straight in any way. We want to retain the original shape. So this length of rope being 3-strand, using only 1 strand, 3 times the length, we're going to make 3 of these blocks out of this strand of rope. We continue to unravel, nice and gentle, until we have our first strand. I'm going to have to cut the end of the rope because it's been burnt shut so that it doesn't unravel. Again, nice and easy, not straightening the rope out in any way. Want to retain its shape and its lay. Okay, so I got a bit of a tangle here. I've actually wrapped the rope back up to the end. We'll just pull that off. Here will be 1 grommet or strop. I'll unravel the other 2 strands and then we'll start making our grommet. Okay, so in the end, my strand of rope turned out to be 36 inches. So 12-inch circumference around the block and the grommet, or the metal ring. Okay, so let's get a start on this block. Keeping the 12 and 24, we're just going to wrap the rope around, allowing it to follow its lay, trying not to unravel the rope and to keep its lay the same. If it doesn't, if you have a bit of problems, that's okay. The 3rd wrap will help keep it in position. I want to just keep following around, trying to follow the lay of the rope without unraveling. I may have made this rope slightly too short. Some instructions say 3 wraps, some say 4. Again, if it starts to weave up like this and could end like that, that's okay. We can straighten it out with some hot water after. So in this case, let's see how I did. In this case, I feel like the instructions I'm following may be incorrect. I may need to get 4 times the length, so 48 inches. Because as we see, we have 3 wraps of the rope following the lay nice at the bottom, but I've run out of rope. So, okay, to start this grommet, I'll lay out the rope on its 36-inch marks. I'm going to grab it at the 12 and the 24. This will form the ring. I'll start making a ring at this point by doing wraps of the rope so that it ends up being a 3-strand ring this size. A quick check of the rope shows that this is the correct size to fit around the block and the grommet, and we will use whipping to tighten it around the block in the end. I've measured the rope. This is around the block and the quoit, as some landlubbers like to call it. I'm going to try the wrap one more time. I feel like this is going to give me my 3 wraps. I get a little bit of straightening the lay. I'm just trying to follow it by eye. It's going to be tighter once the 3rd bit of the lay gets around. We'll try to straighten up the rope as we go without losing the lay of this rope. Okay, this time 1 strand's made it all the way around, and I feel like the other strand's going to make it all the way around as well. Gotta keep it fairly tight. Getting this rope back together. That's a 3-strand rope quoits. It's a bit loose right here, a bit loose right here. And again, I'm getting the problem of the rope wanting to curve or coil, and that's okay. So we're ending there. We're ending here a bit short. That's going to be okay too, because it will be hidden in the whipping or the lashing. And I think it might be a bit of a problem of my wraps not being tight and consistent all the way around. Okay, so we got to there. From here, other than fixing this up, by tightening in here and in here, we need to close off the ends of the rope. I'm going to remove this burn. What I'm going to do is separate these fibers into 2 ends and just weave them in and out of the rope to put it into a knot. In my mind, these blocks aren't going to be used on the boat, so it's going to be okay. Also, the whipping around here will tighten that up and make sure the knot doesn't come undone. Okay, so I would err on the side of longer versus shorter. I could try to tie this. I don't think it's going to work. What I'm going to do is tie some 2mm marline that I'm going to use for whipping around here and here to season in place for now. And again, err on the side of caution. It says 3 for 3 lay ropes, 3 times the length you need. I would add a couple inches just so you have rope left to cut off in the end. Okay, I have a big roll of tarred marline, 2mm. I'll say that is wider than 2mm. What I'm going to do is take a length of it. I'm going to unravel this marline and use one of the 2 strands. It's basically 2-strand tarred marline, tarred with Stockholm tar. I'm not concerned about keeping the lay of this rope because I'm not going to weave it, just using it in place of some twine. This size is more like what I thought I was going to get, not the long length. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to tie this up in a small knot to hold the end of the rope in place. Make sure we have the rope in place. Again, even this I feel like I can unweave and do something else. The problem buying stuff online, go with the description and it's not necessarily exactly what you think it is. All right, so that's not perfect, but that is going to be good enough for now because I'm going to whip around this. So we'll trim the ends. We'll bring this coil back up into place as best as possible to here, and I will tie another small knot here to keep this from unraveling. I'll probably discard these 2, and when we move on and do a second block, I will lengthen the rope as I just figured out and suggested to you guys watching this video. Bit of a trim just here. It's very sticky. Very strong rope. So, not perfect, but in theory, let's see what happens. We have our quoit. Place it around the block around the thimble. I'm going to do, at this point, tighten it as tight as I can using this twine in some lashings, and then I will wrap around here to seize this rope shut. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt to tie a line here. Sorry, my fingers are getting in the way. So I'll just tie the rope onto that side, slide it down. What we're going to do is attempt to seize this thimble through a lashing. With this tarred marline. Now, if you can't get this tight enough, you can use a Spanish windlass to tighten this up and then tie your rope tight. So, I'm definitely not tight enough up until this point. I think I probably shouldn't be wrapping yet. Make this as tight as possible. Try to center. I'm going to come back and just do some solid wraps around here. I'm going to say this end isn't long enough, but I'm going to send it down through the center and finish it for now. We'll clean up some of the threads. So, in my mind, and from looking online and watching others, this is the gist of what we're doing. I'll turn it around. I'll seize this one back through some of the lines here. If I can get the marline, which obviously isn't the best thing to do, or the best thing to use, through the lines at the bottom. There it is, and with this end, I can now, before I clean up some of the threads, tie a square knot to hold it in place. So, learning as I go. I've never done this before. Reading instructions, giving it a go. And that's what I suggest you do. What's the loss? I mean, this rope is maybe 15, 20 cents a meter, or a foot. This giant roll of, I think it's something like 200 feet plus, was like $30 Australian. So I'm happy to do a bit of experimentation and go, if this isn't what I want to do, I can discard it, do it again. Again, these are basically decorative blocks. They're not going to be used on the boat under any load, or at least not on anything more than a flagpole. So, okay, I admit that looks a bit messy. I think some sort of waxed twine, thick sail thread would be better. However, we'll see. It's not so bad on that side. We'll see if we can clean it up. Okay, and looking at this, any idea what I've done? The rope needs to pass through here. So I feel like this is upside down. However, it's also loose enough that I can flip the block over and correct that error. I'm going to have to tighten it up with a few more lashings, but that's okay. We'll do that. I'm going to try to do some whipping around here to seize this up into place, see how messy or not that it looks with this length of tarred marline. And I think I will use the full marline and not a single strand like I did here. And then we'll do some final tightening to make sure the block doesn't fall out. Okay, full width 2 mil tarred marline. I have a very long length so that I don't run out, and the way I've been going I probably will. What am I going to do? I'm going to try to run this rope down through here to seize it in place. I feel like, although most instructions show to do what I'm about to do at this step, that I would do it first. basically, I'm going to do wraps around here to seize this and hide it. And also ensure this stays closed up. So, I guess what I'll do is I'll start a bit up. I'll just tie a simple half hitch. And then with my very long length of rope, I will come to the bottom and start my wrapping and hide this inside the rope. Okay, so I've come to the end. I think it's not perfect. I could probably burn off or trim some of these hairs. This is real marline, not artificial marline, and it's coated with Stockholm tar. I get the look. I mean, I expected it to kind of look like this. And on a large block, I think this would be great. On these small blocks, other than for decorative use, I'm not so sure. I think this as a first go is a pretty good attempt, but I think I can do much better. Okay, so thanks for watching. Again, here is my first attempt. Not perfect. It looks kind of like it's 2 strands and not 3 on that side. It's a bit big at the top. It's almost as big as the block itself. But we'll see how we go with, I have 3 more to do, and I can always take this apart and try to redo it. Okay, quickly, here's where I end. I burned off some of the threads on the twine. What I'm going to do is try it again to see if I can make this better, and give you guys a better view of the video. I'll do this again as well, but I'm going to split this 2mm twine that is double braid. It's not braided, but it's a 2-strand. I'm going to split it into 1 and make a second block on the matching block. So, taking the original thing, I definitely have 3 times the length and a little bit, so we'll discard that now. Okay, pretty happy with that one. Let's tie it in the middle. All right, anyway, thanks for watching. And I have a 1902 number 4 Stanley plane that I've restored. You've seen some of the plane videos. I have a 2-part video. It's about an hour long, so I'll release that over 2 Saturdays. That'll show details on setting up and sharpening a plane and using both my 1902 Stanley number 4 plane and also a very old Stanley block plane as well.